Berachos Daf Tezvav. Rabbi Yochanan says if one wants to complete the process of Ol Malchus Shamayim and do it in its entirety, he should first clean his body. In other words, go to the restroom, wash his hands, say Kriya Shema, put on tefillin, and then daven Shemona Esrei. If you do all that, it's as if you built a mizbeach and you will makriv a carbon on top of the mizbeach. Says Rava. Not only that, it's as if you were toivel in a mikvah. Rav Chisda used to curse those who would search for water before saying Kriya Shema, because Kriya Shema has a zman, and you might miss the zman. Shemona Esrei, on the other hand, you mechuyev to look for water because the zman is much longer. You should look for water up until a parsa, which is approximately 3 miles in the direction that you're traveling. To go in reverse, to make a U-turn and look for water, when you know there's water, you're only mechuyev to go up until a mil, which is approximately 4,000 feet. The Mishnah says that if a person doesn't hear the Kriya Shema in his own ear, he wasn't mashmiya la'aznav. Tanakama, which is Rabbi Yehuda, says that he's yaitza, and Rabbi Yosi says he's not yaitza. There's a very long sugya. It's almost complicated and brings in 5 different brises and rayas, and I'll try to make it very simple. L'maskana, we have 3 shitas, 3 opinions. We have Remeir, who's the most mekel. He says if you don't hear what you're saying, whether it's Kriya Shema or different brachas, the Rabbanan, the Raisa, you are yaitza lechatchila. In other words, you could start out initially saying it without hearing it in your ear, and you're yaitza. On the opposite side, you have Rabbi Yosi, who says that when it comes to Kriya Shema, if you don't hear it in your ear, you're not yaitza, even b'di'evet, even after the fact. And then you have the middle shita. That's Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, who happens to be Rabbi Yehuda's Rebbe. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says you are yaitza only b'di'evet. But if you want to be yaitza l'chatchila, you should hear it in your ear. So you have these 3 shitas. How do these 3 shitas match up with the following 5 cases? You have our Mishnah that discusses Kriya Shema, and that's Doiraisa. So in Kriya Shema, we're going to have all 3 shitas. You have Remeir who says you don't have to hear it in your ear, you only have to be mechaven, because it says Alev Avecha, it's in your heart. You have Rabbi Yosi who says that you have to hear it in your ear, because it says Shema, you must hear it. And then you have Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, who's the middle shita, you should l'chatchila hear it in your ear, but if you don't, you're yaitza. And then we have a brayso that brings a person who's deaf, but he could speak, and he says a bracha on truma. One brayso says he's only yaitza b'di'evet. That will be going according to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Now the big question in the sugya is, how does Rabbi Yehuda fit in here? The Gemara tried to say that perhaps he says like Remeir, that l'chatchila you yaitza even without hearing it. Maskanas sugya, it seems like Rabbi Yehuda holds like his own Rebbe, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, that b'di'evet you yaitza. So this brayso that says that you're yaitza if you're deaf and could speak, you're yaitza only b'di'evet when you, by truma, the bracha truma, which is the Rabbanon, goes according to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. There's another brayso when it comes to a deaf person who could speak, and that's Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi, who says that you're yaitza even l'chatchila. That must be going according to Remeir. And then you have the halacha of Berachos Hameisim. Berachos Hameisim is the Oraisa, and it says that you should not bench in your heart. That means l'chatchila you shouldn't do so. But if you do it, then b'di'evet you're yaitza, and that will be according to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. And finally, we have the case of Megillah. Megillah, Kriyas Megillah, it says that a cheresh shoitev a should not say Kriyas Megillah. But if they did so, if the cheresh did so according to Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, you are yaitze from a cheresh. The same thing would apply to a katan. Rashi says that a katan is like a cheresh, that l'chatchila he should not be moitzi other people with Megillah, but if he did so, yaitze b'di'evet. A shaita, even b'di'evet, you're not yaitze. Rabbi says there's another shir, that is, if a katan is begil chinuch, he's like 8-9 years old, then he's completely kosher l'chatchila to be moitzi other people. So that's sugya. Then the Gemara says that it's possible that Rabbi Yosi holds by Kriya Shema that you are not yaitza at all, even b'di'evet. He could agree by the Rabbanans, by let's say Truma and a Cheresh, by Megillah, that you are yaitza b'di'evet. The Gemara says that just like a womb takes in zera, and then out comes a baby, so too a grave takes in the dead, and there will be Techiyas Hameisim, the bodies will be alive. Just like the womb, it goes in when it's quiet, but when it comes out, the baby comes out, and there's a lot of commotion, there's screaming and celebration. So too, kal v'chaymer, by the grave, when the body goes in, there's a lot of crying. When the body comes out alive by Techiyas Hameisim, there's going to be a huge celebration. And this is the source for Techiyas Hameisim in the Torah and the Nevi'im. It says in the pasuk, just like a river could take a person out of his tuma and make him tar, so too the Ahalim, referring to the Beis HaMedrash, could take a person and take him out of chayva if he has averis and bring him into schus. We learned in the Mishnah that if a person said Kriya Shema but he wasn't medaktik, what does that mean? He said all the words, but perhaps two of the words were connected to each other. The Gemara gives examples where the end of one word ends with the same letter as the next word begins, like al levavecha. They both, the al ends with a lamed and levavecha starts with a lamed. If you say it quickly, it sounds like al levavecha. Without, you're supposed to stop in between. As you'll see in the Sidurim, there's a stop between all these words. And we learned that from Vilimadatam. It should be limud tam. The Gemara brings another example like Esev Besadcha, 2 bases. Va'avatem mehera, 2 mems. And Taisus brings down also the v'chara af. If you say it quickly, it sounds like v'charaf. So you should make a stop. V'chara af. And also Taisus talks about tizkiru, which people are very makbet to say the zayin tizkiru, that it shouldn't sound like tizkiru. If somebody is very careful with the way he says Kriya Shema, they will lower the temperature in Gehenna. And the Gemara finally says at the end, Uchsavtom, Ksiva Tama. There was a Havamina that perhaps you shouldn't have to say the instructions regarding Kriya Shema. How to put on your tefillin, how to write, how to do the mezuzah. Maybe you should only say the psukim that have to do with Yerushalayim. The Gemara says, no, that's only by a site that we take out all the instructions and we just put in the curses, because over there it says alais. And there's no gzer shava between site to our sugya because it says uchsav tam. It should be ksiva tama. Have a wonderful day.